you need both at the table, product and GTM. So it's always like, I don't know, some people say like, oh, if I go first, it means something. No, not really. But the idea is just trying to like really already trying to solve for that alignment. It's like if you don't have alignment around what you're building and who you're building for, that's going to be a really, really painful planning process.
Well, let's hit on who you've been building for, because one thing that I think is super fascinating about Plaid is the network gets smarter as it grows. So it becomes more valuable as it grows. How does a CFO think about measuring the value of a network?
I think about the value of a network around like 3 dimensions. The first is scale, like scale in absolute numbers, but also scale in like percentage covering. We connect into 12,000 financial institutions. I want to know not just like the 12,000 number sounds like a big number, but what coverage does that give me? How many potential consumers does that cover? Then the second thing, and I think this is like truly a business that wants to build network effects, is the quality of that data. It's the depth of the data. It's the speed of the data, and it's the intelligence of like the network that you're building. So depth, kind of going back for Plaid into that like identity network. If I had like, one connection to CJ, like I'd like one basic connection to CJ, sure, it gives me like scale and coverage. But the thing that will really enable me to build like a really high quality network is having more views on CJ's life. Because like the more I know about you, the better we can serve you and the better our customers can serve you. So really thinking about like that depth and quality, and then also like the speed of the connections, given the like financial transactions, you want them to happen as seamlessly as possible. And for some of the products that we build, credit underwriting, anti-fraud decisioning, real-time data is really important. I call them quality metrics, depth, speed, intelligence. And then the third is usage. At the end of the day, are people using the network? Because if I built like, this massive network with amazing quality and nobody's using it, something's probably gone wrong along the way. I'd say that's probably a little bit downstream. But again, if you're seeing like all of this great scale and quality and it's not showing up in usage, probably time to take a beat and figure out what's going on.
Well, it sounds like there are leading indicators that'll tell you the network is getting stronger before revenue shows up.
Yeah, there are, definitely. I think the quality is really important in figuring out sort of, I'd say like that for me is a bit of the precursor for like, is revenue going to show up? Is this value added at the end of the day? Is there alternatives out there for like some of the point solutions that we offer? And so really for me, thinking about the quality, that's going to be the precursor to revenue.
When you open your computer each morning, what's the first metric you look at?
Usage.
Usage. Okay.
We're a usage-driven business. And so usage for me, that is like the leading indicator.
A lot of good things are going to happen if usage is high, right? You don't have to wait for it to show up on the income statement.
Exactly.
You've been in a lot of amazing companies with well-known brand names. What do you think goes into building a durable, independent company? Reflecting on your career, what does durability mean to you?
I thought of durability almost like defensively. Withstand and survive. But I don't think that's playing to win and playing to survive. I actually think, as I spent, more and more and more time in sort of some of these high growth, groundbreaking companies, it's been about offense. It's not just surviving, it's about thriving, regardless of the macroeconomic situation. And also, like, how do you thrive not just when you have tailwinds? Because everyone could do pretty well when you're at tailwinds. But how do you build a product that will outperform and a customer base that will outperform even when you have headwinds? You should ride that wave. Make sure you do really well. But actually, when there are headwinds, how do you make sure you're still advancing the business in light of those headwinds? And what that does for me is it raises the bar on you. Most people are going to do well when things are good. When things turn, that's when you sort of start to separate, as they say, the cream from the milk. It keeps a really high bar on how you run your organization, that you're not just running your organization to like thrive in the good times, but you're running a resilient organization. You're building a resilient team. One more thought on durability. Increasingly, I also realize agility is super important. In the finance seat, I think it's 2 things: really high visibility, because you can't move and react to what you can't see, and discipline, actually. When you're really disciplined, when you know where everything is, you're able to move, reform the business very quickly. Each day, each month, I'm like, we live in the most interesting times. And that agility, I think, is really key when you're building an organization, because you're not going to be able to anticipate every single macroeconomic speed bump or shock. You're not. But what's really important is that you have an org that has the shock absorbers and that has really good visibility, that you can sort of like reform and react to movements in the market without sort of missing a beat.
So me and you are doing part 2 of this podcast 10 years from now. Plaid is a wild, smashing success, of course. What will people have underestimated about how that success happened?
I think it's probably still going to be the things they underestimate about what we've built today. I don't think it'll be the tech component. I think Plaid is already known for being like a really innovative business with an exceedingly high bar on tech talent. And I think what folks underestimate about what we've built and what we'll continue to build is the importance of the trusted relationships that we've developed across the industry and the ecosystem. You sit across the company from some of like the largest financial institutions in the world. They want to trust the people that they are partnering with. It's so easy for it to get overlooked when it just shows up as like a pane on your phone. They also trust our deep relationships and expertise when it comes to security, privacy. All of these things are like they're table stakes, but they're also like essential to our business. And frankly, the set of values that guides us to continue to prioritize what is best for the consumer and what's best for the ecosystem. Financial services for me is like this living, breathing ecosystem with so many stakeholders. And it's sort of one that needs to be tended to. I think if you ever over-rotate, one stakeholder starts to over-prioritize their own ends, it is a value destructive thing. And so I think like what I've been really excited about and proud about at Plaid is how much we think about like the ecosystem and the health of the overall ecosystem. Person number one within that is the consumer, and like trying to build a business where other people win.
Remember when pricing was simple? One product, one subscription, one invoice every month. Those days are over. The AI economy is changing how everything gets bought and sold. We're seeing usage-based pricing, hybrid contracts, and something called a credit. The finance systems built for vanilla subscriptions weren't designed for this. This isn't just a rev rec problem anymore, because outdated revenue architecture can kill a great pricing idea before it ever reaches the market. Right Rev lets you recognize revenue in whatever shape it comes in. Whether you're launching consumption credits or testing entirely new commercial models, Right Rev gives finance the flexibility to support whatever pricing model comes next. So product teams can keep on innovating and finance teams can keep pace. If you're architecting revenue for the AI economy, learn how Right Rev can help. Visit rightrev.com/CJ. That's me. That's rightrev.com/CJ.